Adele from Pretoria in South Africa, and this is the YarnCreations Podcast. That's all about knitting, my knitting and crochet adventures, and yarn, all about yarn. I'm in a different location today because I'm with a few friends in a golf estate. We're renting a house in a golf estate near the Hartbeespoort Dam. That's about an hour's drive from Pretoria. Just a few friends enjoying 2 or 3 days together and knitting and crocheting and enjoying the outside, the sun. It's a lovely week. It's not, I think the winter is all gone here in South Africa. It's lovely, mild to hot days and nice weather, and we can sit outside and eat. We are preparing our own food. We are enjoying lovely salads and really very relaxing. So I want to do a podcast quickly today because it's already, I think, about 3 weeks since I've done the previous one, and in the next 2 weeks I might not be able to do one. So there's all kind of things happening. So I don't want to leave it too long because I've really got a few things I want to share with you. But first, welcome to all my loyal returning viewers. Thanks for returning, and thank you for watching every time, and thank you for those who are leaving nice comments. I really do appreciate it. And if you are a new viewer, welcome, and I hope that you enjoy what I have to say and what I have to present to you. So let me get started, and then if this is a success, because this is the 3rd time I've started, then I will upload it when I'm back at home over the Wi-Fi. So then I can go and join my friends again and continue knitting. That's all we have to do for these few days. The first thing I want to share with you is the Lett-lopi vest that I finished. I haven't got it anymore. I already gave it to my daughter-in-law. She has to try it on, but it's a bit difficult now because she is expecting our first little baby, and I think she will only get the opportunity to try it to see if it fits her properly and if she likes it in a few months' time. So I should have thought of first keeping it back to show on the podcast, but I will. There will be a picture in the beginning or at the end of the podcast that's very clear and that you can see how it looks. I really enjoyed making it, and on my Ravelry project page under AdeleYC for Yarn Creations, I've created a project for the Lett-lopi vest, and in the notes I described what I changed. I did change a few things here and there, not a lot. I'm not a pro, but I'm forever changing something in a pattern. I don't know why, that's just who I am. So I changed, I did some minor changes here when casting on for the neck, and then I did on the sleeves. When you cast off for the sleeves, there's no indication, there's nothing extra added onto the sleeve cap. So I just did 2 rounds of single crochet around the sleeves, but that's all in my notes on my Ravelry project page for the Lett-lopi vest. It's top down. The original one written for Lett-lopi yarn was bottom up, but there is a different pattern that's a top down one. So you can just Google it, or you will find the link via my project page. So that's that about the Lett-lopi vest. I will definitely maybe make another one somewhere in the future when I've worked through the very long list of color work, sweaters and cardigans I would love to knit. The next thing I quickly want to show you is I made 2 scarves, crochet scarves for my workshops, just as an example of what you can do with 2 strands of merino lace singles. The first one I made, I used the yarn cake I made out of the leftovers from my crochet log cabin blankie I made a while back, and that I showed on the podcast. I just made a yarn cake of all the yarn that was left over from that, and it's like a boomerang scarf, all done in half double crochet and with 2 strands of the merino lace. It's very soft and drapey, as you can see, with a half double crochet and a 3.5mm crochet hook. That's what what works for me. For other people it might be a very loose crochet. You might go down to a 3.25, or if you crochet very tight you can go up to a 3.75 or even a 4mm to get a nice soft drapey feeling. But it does make, just keep in mind, it does make a huge difference after you've completed the scarf and you soak it in little soapy cold water with mild soap or mild detergent or some woolite, and soak it for 5 minutes and then just lie it flat in the sun to dry. It does make a huge difference to the feel and the drapiness of the fabric. You start here at the very narrow point, and then it goes a very gradual, it gets wider very gradually. And one of the techniques I use when crocheting, when doing half double crochet and crocheting like a scarf or a boomerang type of form of this, I do a 2 chain at the sides, but that does not count as a stitch. I never use my turning 2 chain as a stitch. So that gives you some extra stretch at the sides, but you can't see it at all, and it's very easy then to do your first stitch or your last stitch, because you don't have to look for the second chain to make your stitch into that second chain. You never use that turning to chain 2 for a stitch. You make all the stitches you make is in the previous row real stitches. So it's all in half double crochet, which is my favorite, as I mentioned before. I don't know why. I think it's the little texture it gives and the softness, and it really works well for hand-dyed and variegated yarns. So as I said, you start here, and you can start with 6, 7 to 10 chain stitches, and then you do a single crochet from the second chain onwards. You make in every chain except the first one, you make a single crochet. Then you turn and you start with your turning chain 2, and then in the second stitch you do a half double crochet. Always do a half double crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 half double crochets in the second stitch, and then you half double crochet together the last 2 stitches. That is how you start. Then you turn, you do your chain 2 turn, then you do half double crochet in each stitch, and then in the second to last stitch you make your increase of 2 half double crochets, and then a half double crochet in the last one. So I might have now showed it the wrong way round, but this is the side that has your, let me just show it a little bit better. The side that turns that way is the side that you are decreasing at the end of the row. Just this one side. So what you can do is you can put a marker, or you can mark it, and then at the end of this side you do a half double crochet together in the last 2 stitches. And this is your increase side, and in every row it will be in your second stitch or in your second to last stitch. You do 2 half double crochets in that second to last stitch or in the second stitch. Either be it when you start the row, then it will be in your second stitch, and when you end on this side it will be in your second to last stitch. There will always be 2 half double crochet increase on this side, and then at the end of this row, when you come back, only at the end, not at the beginning of the side, only at the end of this side, you will do a half double crochet together decrease. So it's a very gradual, because you do an increase in every row on this side, but only at every second row, at the end of the row, you will do a decrease on this side. So that's a very gradual increase, and it gives you that nice boomerang shape that drapes very nicely around your neck. Let me see if I can. There's so many different ways to wear this. It's so light and easy to wear. There's so many different ways. It depends on how much yarn you've got and how long you want it. Just keep in mind that it does stretch a little bit when you soak and block it. So if you don't want it that long, just keep in mind that it might stretch like, I'm not sure, it's different. I haven't measured it. I should do that maybe once, is just measure it to see how many centimeters it will stretch out. But I don't block my scarves aggressively. I just put them down on a towel and just get it into shape, in that boomerang shape, and just let it dry like that. I don't pin it, I don't stretch it aggressively. You can do that if you want. You see that maybe you haven't got enough yarn and you want it a little bit longer, you can stretch it aggressively, because of that 2 chain at the sides that you don't work into. That gives you enough stretch at the sides so that you can block it aggressively if you want to. But I don't really like doing that with any of my crochet or knitting scarves or shawls. I made another one just for another sample for the workshops. That's exactly the same shape, but just to show the marling and the color melting happening. So this is also with 2 strands of merino lace singles. Started at this point here. As I said, you can start wider if you want to, or you can start with only 6 chain and then 5 single crochets, and then from there on your half double crochets, or you can start with 10 chain or 15 chain. It really doesn't matter, it's all up to you. So there's my first 2 colors of merino lace. I think it's all from Oneofakind yarns. I think this scarf is all made out of remnants of Oneofakind yarns. There you can see some color melting happening. Here's some more color melting. There's a bit of a new combination. And then I ended with the 2 strands of the dark color held together just for this little border. And you can do the border as many rows as you would like to do it. The border is only single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in every second stitch. That's all. That's the border. And then when you do your second and third rows, you do a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the chain 2 space of the previous row. It's like a little V stitch that you just do, and it gives it a little bit of an edging. So this one is shorter. I only used the Oneofakind lace singles I had all left over little bits. But it still goes around my neck like a scarf. For our weather in South Africa or in Pretoria, this is perfect because it's lightweight and it's not too hot and not too heavy. There's not a lot of opportunity to wear very hot, cozy, warm scarves. Something like this is actually perfect for our weather. Even a day today, if I didn't have on stripes with this, I could have wear this. So as I said, I will try and give a little recipe down below. I don't know, maybe I mentioned that in one of the previous tries for this podcast. I will give a short little description of how this is made in the description box below this video. I hope that will work. I'm sure it will, because it's so easy to make. And then when you do some, as I will explain in my workshops, what you do is you can just, when you want to bring in a new color, like if you start with A and B, when you bring in a new color like C, you just alternate the yarns. You alternate A with C and B with C. Or if you want A to finish quicker than B, because you actually want some combinations of B and C to go to stretch a little bit. So then you can, if you want A to finish up quicker, then you can only melt A with B and then A with C, and then A with B and A with C. Then A will finish up quicker than B, and then you can continue with B and C. Or you can do like A and B, B and C, A and C. You can do that kind of melting as well. So this is a combination of marling and melting, because you are using 2 different colors of lace together, but you are also melting it with another combination. So you can really do a very gradual melting if you want to. This is the perfect project for me to do when we are on a road trip, because you don't have a lot of yarns. You can actually make a yarn cake before the time. That's what I did with this one. I made the yarn cake before the time, so I only had the one yarn cake down below, because the dog is, most of the time the dog is also lying at my feet, so there's not a lot of space for a big project basket. So this is the perfect project actually to do when you're on a road trip in the car. It's mindless, it's enjoyable, it's really a nice project for me to do. And you can do it with 1 strand as well, and then you can do some color melting with one strand of, say, a fingering or a 4-ply, and just gradually melt them all. And you can also use your remnants for that kind of, if you only want to use one strand. 2 strands, I would prefer a lace weight, so that it's still light and drapey scarf. So that's all about that. I don't know I don't really think it's got a name. It's just a color melting and marling scarf. That's what it is. Okay, then my Walktheblock MKal that I've showed before. As I said, we went to the farm, and on the farm I really had some time to finish some of my projects. And what I did do a lot, I knit a lot on my Walktheblock MKal. I had about half of it left to do. It's a lot of knitting. It involves a lot of knitting, but it's such an enjoyable, creative knit, and there's not a boring second in the scarf. So I do enjoy a creative knit. That is really something I enjoy. I do like to have mindless projects in between, but something like this, that you can really get creative with different stitches and different color combinations, I really do enjoy doing that. So I finished this on the farm, and I did almost finish the Lett-lopi vest on the farm. I really had a lot of time there to crochet and knit and eat and sleep and read and have a walk on the farm. That's really a very relaxing time for me. So let me show you. So as I showed in previous podcasts, this is the point where you start, and you actually start here with a lot of stitches there at this side. You start there, and then the whole with the short rows and the short row wedges, the whole direction changes of the scarf. So that was the beginning, as I showed you, and I think I was just past when I showed you last. I did this, the flowers in a row and the eyelets, and I was about here, I think, that I showed you last. I didn't the pattern actually calls for some color melting here, but I got my colors a bit mixed up. So I just completed, or I just continued with that. So I repeated the same color combination this side, so that it does look as if there is some consistency. And then there was this another eyelet piece, and some more eyelet flowers in a row, sorry, and some more flowers in a row, and then this very interesting part that was very interesting for me to knit. And then you do another piece like the starting piece, you do another piece like this separately, and then you have to join it to this. Now I'm not very good at keeping that neat, so I had to unravel it a few times to get it to look acceptable. In retrospect, when I ever do knit this again, I think if I can manage to do that, I will pick up stitches here along the side. I will pick up stitches in this second to last piece, and then reverse the pattern and then knit from there and finish the piece like that. I'm sure it will be possible to do that. That's the only, I don't want to I don't know what to call it, the only I don't want to say it's a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. I really enjoyed the whole thing. I don't want to criticize the pattern because I'm not a pro, but I think that it might be possible to pick up your stitches here and then just reverse this piece, the writing of this piece. I don't know, maybe it's not possible. But I will certainly try to do that if I ever do this scarf again. But I do like the color combinations. It's really pretty. And it is a long scarf. You can really fold a double and have a cozy for our rare, very cold winter days. You can really have a nice, warm, cozy scarf with lots of texture and colors happening. There's a lot happening in the scarf, and it's an absolute joy to knit. I did it in Oneofakind yarns, sock weight yarn, all, as I showed you in one of the previous episodes, all yarns that was already caked, and I just grabbed a few of them and I used up about 3 of the colors, because I didn't use so many. I didn't have so many colors that is asked for in the pattern. If you've got a lot of remnant little pieces, you can really go very interesting with your color choices. So I just used full cakes, and I think I might have finished 3 of them that was almost completely full, 100 grams, and then the others, there's some leftovers. I think I've only got 3, 4, I only have about 5 or 6 colors, and then the red I only used a little small amount for those 3 little flower stripes. But this was really such an enjoyable, creative knit. I really enjoyed doing this. And then the last FO, I've really got a lot of FOs because of the time lapse between my podcast episodes, is this other log cabin blanket I made, and it came out quite large. I used Miss Lamotte singles, 2 strands held together, so it's all mold, and I changed 1 strand at a time. So in each log I changed 1 of the strands, and I really enjoyed the color plays in this strands. There's some beautiful combinations, and it's really interesting for me, as I showed you last, how you can manipulate the color, one of the colors, by which one you add to it to use with it. It's all done in half double crochet, and I will put the link again, as I've put it in my previous podcast, where I found the original idea of the half double crochet log cabin blanket. And it's really very enjoyable and very easy to do, and I think this weighs about 1 kilogram, so there must be then about 10 skeins of merino singles in this blanket, and it's quite large. And the corners, I do like a neat, straight, perfect corner. And for the border, all I did, because my yarns were all depleted, I've only got small little balls left. I only did a slip stitch around the whole blanket. And it does give a neat little edge. I don't think that this blanket needs any elaborate edge. So I just did the slip stitches all around. Let me show you one of the other. So this is finished. I'm sad to see it finished, but it's really, really cuddly and such a nice blanket, and I will keep it and it will go to someone special. Not sure who that is yet. I might have an idea. I've got someone who's trying to tell me that I should give it to her. So but I will see. So that is the log cabin blanket I made with half double crochet stitches, all with Miss Lamotte. And this one skein, this mustardy green color, this one is a skein from Hartlam, and it worked out quite well with all the other Miss Lamotte colors. That is all that I finished. That I think that's quite a lot. So I've only got one. The one thing I first want to remind you about is the giveaway I have, that I will give. That I'm waiting for 200 subscribers. I'm going to be just patiently waiting for 200 subscribers. I've watched Ellie of Scandia Knits had an episode all about podcasting, and in that episode she said something that meant a lot to me. She said that one should just be patient with getting more subscribers. So I will just relax about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to stop. I've got a few loyal subscribers who I'm really doing this for. So it doesn't worry me that I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I'm just going to wait patiently. The reason why I want to wait till I've got at least 200 subscribers is just so that I can give more people the opportunity to win this yarn, because it's so beautiful. It's the 3 skeins of Wishbone that I've showed you in a previous podcast. Here they are. It's a Wishbone. Don't know which one I've shown and which one I haven't shown, but it's a merino and silk sock weight, and a merino and linen single, and a 100% merino single. They're so gorgeous. And then I've got the stitch markers that go so well with them. Sorry for the tissue. I forgot I had it in my hand, because I've always got a sort of a runny nose when it's a bit chilly. So this is stitch markers. Okay, so that is the prize that I will patiently wait for. When I've got 200 subscribers, I will have the giveaway here on the YouTube channel. And then the last thing that I can show you is a work in progress. I'm busy work in progress. That is the Scarfything by it's a recipe from Hedgehog Fibres. I haven't got the large picture just to save some ink. It's a free pattern. There's a lot of very nice patterns on Hedgehog Fibres web page, where you can find this as well, the Scarfything. It's a scarf that is made out of there you can see she photographed the scarf in 3 sections, and then she shows you how to in which direction to start. I think you start there, and then you work that one, and then you work that one, and then you can, there's no rules, so I have changed some of them, and then you get a general idea of what you want to do and where you want to go with the scarf. I'm also using, I'm actually making it as another example for my workshops of how you can use 2 strands of merino lace singles together and do some marling. And this is what I've got so far. I'm now busy knitting this piece and at the same time attaching it to this piece. So that is a new technique for me to do, is to join as you go while knitting. And for the little pops of color, what I use is kit mohair and silk. Let me just show you. I want to show you some of the lace, merino lace singles I'm using. I'm using some from, I must still wound these. I'm just using a little bit of it, then I'm going to wound these again into smaller little balls for my workshops. It's from Bar Fiber Art. I've got like these colors from Natasha from Bar Fiber Art. Beautiful colors. Here's another one of her colors. And then I've got Oneofakind yarns, merino lace singles as well. These 3. So I've got these from Oneofakind yarns and the others are from Bar Fiber Art. Beautiful, and they go beautifully together, really. Like, look at this combination, for example. Perfectly. And then what I do, I will then take the one away, and then for the next little piece I will put these 2 together. Oneofakind yarns, Bar Fiber Art. They work perfectly well together. And then, as I said, for the pops of color, I'm mostly using the kit mohair silk. It's spun and dyed by Samuel S.A. Mills and Mariki from Colors of Amalfi is now going to distribute this. So if you are interested, you can contact Colors of Amalfi. She's got a Facebook page, and there you will find her contact number and you can contact her. And this is some of the colors that I'm using. I haven't added this one yet. I want to. It's like a charcoal gray. Nice pops of color. Here's another pop. Here's some more. Still want to add them as well. Not sure if I'm going to have space to add them all, and this one I have already added. It's really, really very soft. It's a lace. And it's the, I think 70%, I'm not sure, I think it's 70%, I haven't got one, 70% kit mohair and 30% silk, I think. So that is what I am using. So all these little mohair, I'm taking away one of the strands of the merino lace, and I'm adding the strand of mohair together with one of the strands of merino lace for that little pops of color. and I'm using a 3.5, just my ordinary Symphony's Knit Pro Symphony needles, and I'm busy with that at the moment. I love this little green pop, and to give you an example of what I'm busy with at the moment is, let me just see if I can find them. I'm using this one from Oneofakind yarns together with this one from Bar Fiber Art. So this is the Scarfything, and I think I've still got quite a lot to do, because I think that is one of the scarves that has to, I don't know, I think it should go around and then down. So I'm only at this point. So there's still a little bit of knitting to do. Okay, so I think that is all that I have for you today, or that I remembered to bring with me to this different location. I hope you enjoyed what I had to show to you, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and please like this episode. That will give me more exposure so that other people can see my podcast on YouTube, and then maybe that way I can get some more subscribers and I can reach the point where I can give away this beautiful wishbone yarn. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day. Bye.